Hello everyone and welcome to my channel, and today I will be reading a Neuvillette Listener by me. Thank you to my channel members Yummy and Nahida Reina, and with that said, let's get into it. Neuvillette always seemed like a very stoic person, someone who would never be affectionate. But he did not realize how wrong that was until you started dating him. He was far more affectionate than most, far more gentle and lovely than anyone else could think or guess. It was a rather pleasant surprise, one that you did not see coming, but one that you were delighted with nonetheless. It was something you loved and wanted in him. Meanwhile, Neuvillette was trying to figure out where all these feelings are coming from, and why he wanted to be with you all the time. Why the thought of you being in his arms was the most comforting one. Why sometimes the reason he wakes up in the morning is just your existence and nothing else. It was entirely too strange for him, something he couldn't comprehend. And yet, he was happier than he's ever been, with you being by his side, and him finally taking solace in your presence. It felt like his life had totally changed and for the better. Before, he didn't understand love. Love was a difficult thing for him. Humans were after it, and it seemed so important, and yet he had never experienced it before. But with you, he was able to feel all these deep feelings, and know the importance of love, and just how much it changed the person, and what it could mean for the heart. Which is why, after a particularly exhausting trial, one that was very exhausting for him in a mental way, he just wanted to be in your arms and nothing more. It was already heavily raining by the time that he was back home, and you were worried just how upsetting the trial could be. But the way he looked at you could tell that he needed your comfort, and you were willing to offer that. He went to his room first to dry his hair and put on something new instead of his clothes that were now soaked. And once he was out, you were waiting for him on the couch, like the two of you had done this every day, even though you did not. But you just knew him and knew how to make him feel better, even without him saying a single word. You were made for one another, your souls intertwined, that you didn't need any words from him to be able to tell exactly what he needs. Which is why, as he sat down next to you, he patted your thighs, and he smiled softly, kissing your cheek before curling into them. He just laid his head and his upper body on your lap, curling up to make himself as small as possible. Perhaps for anyone else seeing this, it would be silly to see the dragon sovereign, the Eunuch of Fontaine, curled up in someone else's lap. But to you, it was the most precious sight in the entire world. It was the best thing you've ever seen and experienced, with him being curled up to you like this. It was wonderful, lovely, and important in a way you couldn't really describe. You loved this with him. That feeling of being needed and wanted, it was something you could truly never describe. And slowly, you began to run your hands through his hair. It was a really beautiful thing, and you knew it took hours of upkeep. Neuvillette, is everything alright? You don't seem very well. I suppose so. No, not everything's fine. The trial was as I had expected. It was not pleasant to be in, Wayan. And I would rather not speak much of it, he said, and he said softly, nodding in understanding. I understand, Neuvy. It's fine. We don't have to talk about it that much if you don't want to. But I was thinking you could at least tell me about the rest of the day. Anything that made you happy today? You know, try to think of something positive. You say softly and he nods. And he looks at your eyes as he's deeply in thought. And then he lets out a soft sigh. Is it terrible that you're the first thing that comes to my mind? You laugh softly, shaking your head. No, it's not the worst thing. Tell me, what else then? I don't know. Truly, you make my mornings what they are, Ryan. And you're the one who motivates me to wake up, to go on. Sometimes the world feels too tiring and draining. And yet, when there's you in it, it does not feel that way anymore. It is truly strange, and maybe a couple of years ago I would have been truly confused by the concept. And yet now it feels most natural to me. I truly don't understand. You sigh wistfully, smiling, as you lean down to put a soft kiss to his forehead. That's how love is, Neuvillette. It's not logical, and you would never understand it unless you have it. Love is special. It makes us who we are. It changes us, totally and fully. We would do anything for the person that we love, right? He smiles, nodding into your shirt. You're right. I would do anything for you, Ayan, without any hesitation. He murmurs sweetly, and you can't help the little blush on your cheeks, because he's so ready to always do so much for you, and you hope you can be there to offer him the same amount of comfort and love, the love that he needs to be given and shown. Meanwhile, Neuvillette is way beyond delighted to be able to rest on your lap. It was something that he desired, and sometimes didn't even know he wanted it until he had it. And today was one of these days where he wanted nothing more than to be in your arms.